had to do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that, but anyway, I wrote on my dry erase board, they let you write ideas or goals up there. And I said I needed a shaman, and I was serious, because the medical doctors come in for maybe 3 minutes, and before you can even ask them a question, they're gone. And then the nurses, if you ask them a question, they say, well, ask your doctor. So I thought, no, I need a shaman is what I need. Somebody who will sit there and at least talk to me about things other than, just flip me a pill if I have a question. And it's a question. If I end up in the hospital again, which could happen, I can get a chaplain, I can get a doctor, but how do I get a shaman?
Yeah, that's probably easier today than it would have been just a few years ago. In your area, you need to look into the Native American community events and get to know some of those folks, and they'll lead you to some that they feel are genuine healers. But you bring out a good point. One of the ideas is the shaman speaks and the psychiatrist listens. So, yeah, and the reason the shaman speaks is because they can see your energy fields and they can have a real positive input into what's going on with you.
Thank you very much. That's a good answer.
All right, Dale. I appreciate that. Do you travel much, John, anymore to some of these indigenous areas where you meet with shamans?
I haven't recently, but I have been visiting the sacred sites in the last year. I'd like to do more of that. In fact, I'm hoping that once I get this family a little bit older, I can do that. I've got two of my kids are going to medical massage therapy college right now, and I've got a granddaughter graduating Friday from high school that's going into surgical nursing. So, yeah, I've got a full plate, but I'd love to do that at some point.
All right, next up, let's go to Angela in New York. You're on the air with us. Hey, Angie.
Oh, hey, good morning, George and John. John, you had mentioned about a place of 3 degrees of higher learning and arts, and I had a dream about that, which involved George. I thought you might find interesting.
Yeah, let's hear that one.
Yeah, it was like in a dream, and I felt like I was being shown something special by like a friend or a guide. And that was a university of, like, higher learning, and I got the feeling it was someplace that was going to be made available to me. And it felt really cool. I was like, a kid in a candy store, what's in here, what's in there? And then these 2 men were coming down a hallway, and they were, discussing. They looked like they worked there, talking about paperwork they were holding. And as they got closer, I saw that one of them was you, George. And we just kind of, I was like, smiled and said hi as we walked past. And, it was just, really cool. It felt like, that something was being prepared for me to go to, to use. So, by the way, I recognized you from your portrait in UFO magazine, and I want to say, look at that compared to the Charles. If you ever see a portrait of Charles Fort, you know who Charles Fort is.
Yeah, from 40 and Times.
There's a similarity in like your disposition and stuff.
Yeah, there sure is.
Oh, you agree? You've seen it before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. That's kind of strange. He's not my doppelganger, though.
Well, I kind of, it's an interesting thought. You're kind of doing the same thing. So.
Well, that is true. And when did he die?
Oh, I don't know.
I'd have to check, because you believe in reincarnation, John, don't you?
Absolutely. And actually, we exist at multidimensional levels right now. And so this idea of this multi-levels on the earth, yes, absolutely. We are part of that system right now at some level. Remember, the biologists now are saying fractal geometry is the way things work. Well, think of a tree and all the branches on the tree, and that's what's going on all over the place.
You do not believe, though, you can't be reincarnated until the other soul dies, though, right? The other individual dies.
Well, I think, first of all, what confuses us in reincarnation is we think somehow we're going to come back with almost everything intact. No, again, I believe in fractal reincarnation, which I think is catching on in some of the university studies, and that is that basically, we're constantly in this energy field that's turning over. Again, we're blinking in and out of existence. Well, we have multiple bodies having multiple experiences, so what we're getting confused is thinking that we have to suddenly download everything into another body. Well, what if we have another body that's just in a parallel universe that's really superimposed on this one, and that's good physics there. That could be a possibility. And so we were having all possible lives, past, present, and future, coexisting right now. That's what I believe.
Next up, let's go to our East of the Rockies line. Jeremy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hey, Jeremy.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi.
I'd just like to say great topic, and it's a great discussion tonight.
Thank you.
I'd like to agree with your guest. I didn't get to hear the beginning of the show to catch his name.
His name is John Jay Harper.
Good evening, John.
Futurist.
Good evening.
I believe that he's right on with a lot of his theories, and I think one of the main things that he said that it resonates with me is that you have to focus on the positive side of it, and if you think of 2012 as doomsday and you get obsessed with the negative side of it, you could never have this spiritual awakening that could, in possibility, change the outcome of the events.
That's right on.
And I think that a big part of it, like he said about the experience of life, if you gain the experience of life through love and not negative and hate, that we could all realize that the earth really is one organism. And I'll hang up and just listen to you guys' comments.
All right. Do you want to react to that, John?
Well, I appreciate the positive caller, and thank you so much.
Okay. Short and sweet. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with us on Coast to Coast. Hi there.
Hi, this is John from Bonnie Lake, Washington.
Hey, John. Go ahead.
You know, I don't believe in reincarnation. John the Baptist did not know that he was Elijah, which was to come. Jesus said he was. He didn't know he was. The spirit of entities or persons that have gone on, a part of that can come back and reflect the nature of God to mankind. But the reason that I'm really calling is that in my own dreams and visions, I live up here in 20 miles from Seattle. I have seen water that came over the Cascade, the lower Cascade Mountains, that came inland, way inland. And I also saw Seattle shaking to its core. I saw the Seattle, the Seattle dome, not the dome, but the tower.
The needle.
Space Needle.
Yeah.
The needle.
Shaking, going back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I saw in Tacoma, I saw the ground going down into the Puget Sound. Mm-hmm. And I believe that we are not years away, but days away. Yes, days away. And that also Ezekiel 38:39 is coming into play, the Antichrist, all of it.
Well, you're not alone, John, in your thoughts about something happening on the West Coast. It's happened. A lot of people, John Jay Harper, have called into this program, and they see the same thing. That's weird.
Yeah, well, it's definitely in the subconscious mind at a minimum, but I feel strongly that what this caller is suggesting is certainly a part of our future, unfortunately.
All right, next up, let's go to Vicki in Venice Beach, California. Hey, Vicki, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, George, for having this wonderful guest.
Sure
and
thing.
How are you, John?
Wonderful, thank you.
I have a question for you. Do you know a woman named Maura Timms?
Heard the name only.
Well, in 1980, she did a workshop at the University of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon, and I was blessed to catch that workshop right before I left to go to Jamaica to work on some music. And she was talking about a lot of the same things that you're talking about right now. And she was mentioning that all the prophecies have a common thread running through them, and it's a similar message for us. But the thing that people get so confused is they don't realize the difference between a prophecy and a prediction. people get stuck. A prophecy is a warning.